Hey, it's Carrie Underwood, and this is the Tiny and Katy Show.
It's the Tiny and Katy Show.
Hey, welcome. It's been about 10 years. Awesome to see you.
Hi, it's Katy. It's nice to see you. Sorry, we've been MIA. I'm in a really bad mood. I'm really, really angry at the moment.
This is like old school Katy here. She would, God almighty, she would come in the studio at some point and just be like this and just begrudgingly, like you couldn't force a smile out of her with a tractor.
I don't think there's anybody that pisses me off more than you do. Like, you do it in a way that makes my blood boil so much that I don't even know how to respond except to just shut down. And I'm not normally a shutter downer, or however you want to phrase it. I'm normally a let's talk it out kind of person, but no, with you, I just shut down. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I messaged Tiny twice, asking about or commenting on the fact that I want to join a gym in Hagerstown, and he never responded. And it made me mad because if somebody texts me, I respond back to those text messages. So I said to him right before we started recording, I said, thanks a lot for responding to my text about joining the gym. And he's like, you didn't ask me a question. You didn't ask me a question. And I said, I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But I know that I commented on the fact that I want to join the gym that you go to.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And he read the text to me and he says, but in there's not a question. There's not a question. Why would I respond when there's not a question? So I said, and I think this is a fair point. Tiny, I fell down the stairs and broke my leg. That's not a question. Does that not merit a response?
I mean, are the stairs okay?
Tiny, I won $100,000. That's not a question.
Congratulations. Where's my cut? Where's my cut?
I just think that when it comes to social decorum 101, you don't have it. You just don't have it. When somebody texts you, if somebody texts you, you respond to the text message.
If I would have responded, if you had sent me this text right now and I was inclined to respond, let me read this text so that we're on the same page here.
By the way, BTW, CF stands for CrossFit.
Yes.
I do CrossFit, by the way.
These are sent consecutively. I need to get into a gym as soon as I move. I see there are some CrossFit gyms in Hagerstown, but I'd like to join your strength one. Now, no question in there. Okay.
Right. But I'm also referring to the gym that you go to. So in my mind, there would be a response of, great, I love that place. Do you want me to get you the number? I'm obviously saying it to try to get more information.
Again, so let me go back here. If I were inclined to respond right now, what I would have said is awesome. Great. I mean, look, if you need something from me, why don't you just say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z?
You're the most infuriating human being I think I've ever met in my lifetime. You just don't know basic social structure.
Katy is the person who would say, Tiny, I'm moving on Saturday. And then would say, well, why aren't you there to help?
I mean, you're obviously saying if I'm taking the time to text you about something, I'm obviously saying it because I want a response. If I didn't want a response, I would be like, Tiny, my carpet's cream. Like, who cares? That's just random jibber jabber, if you will. I'm clearly trying to get some kind of response, especially if I'm referencing the gym that you attend. It's not like I'm like, hey, I'm going to go drop into a CrossFit gym in Oregon. That could be like, okay, cool. But even still, I would have said, okay, cool. That's awesome. When you go to Oregon, what's it like? What's the drop-in fee like? What's
all right,
the gym
Katy,
gonna be like?
What do you need from your old buddy? Tell me.
I don't want anything from you. I don't want anything from you.
Then if you don't need anything, if there's nothing that you want, then what are we arguing about?
I just think that you don't know basic social cues, and it frustrates me sometimes. So let me also chime in and say that I am on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I'm like this close to losing my mind. I've had a very, very busy first, couple of weeks here. A lot's been coming at me. I've been adulting super hard and making all kinds of adult phone calls, and that stresses me out. I've been trying to pack my house. I move in like 2 weeks. I'm also going to Iceland on Saturday.
Don't have a gym. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, the piles just keep, the pile of things that are going wrong just keep moving up and moving up here. But so I don't remember what I was going to say. I'm also very short fused at the moment.
Well,
There's a lot
let
of
me
that.
just say that with in good news, and we do have some good news and all this, catastrophe that is Katie's life, apparently.
Oh, I haven't. Okay. Remind me to also tell you something else that happened to me in the midst of all this shenanigans. Go on.
Okay. But as of June 26th, Katy is returning to WAYZ.
Yay! Are we allowed to make this official?
Well, we just did. I mean, look, as we're recording this, we're exactly 2 weeks away from day one when Katy steps foot back in an official capacity here at WAYZ. We're super excited to have her. We don't know where she's going to be. I can tell you that as we make the transition here and she merges back into programming here at WAYZ, that at certain points along the way for a few weeks, the Tiny and Katy show will return.
Yay!
On the air.
I'm so excited. It will be this all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like I thought for a second, okay, if I'm going to give a little backstory here. So I've known for a few months that I was going to be back at the station in June, which is why I'm moving to Pennsylvania. And so I did find an apartment. I move on I get back from Iceland on the 22nd. I have movers coming on the 24th. And then I start at WAYZ, back at AYZ on the 26th. And I just found this apartment because finding an apartment nowadays is way harder than I had anticipated.
The seemingly insurmountable task.
And also maybe throw in the fact that Greencastle is a smaller community. There's not a lot of apartment complexes. And when there's something that's listed, it is very quickly taken.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of places are not pet friendly. And that's fine. But, I'm not going to leave Winnie behind. She's a cat model. I mean, obviously.
She's just like, she's
famous.
one click away from world famousness,
That's
right?
Right. So everybody, I'm like, I understand you have a no pet policy, but what if my cat's a model? Does that help me out at all? It does.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who Winnie is? So it's been a very, I've known I've been coming back for a while, but I needed to finish out my school year. And then tie up some loose ends with education. And now I just got out of school last week. So I have, this week I go to Iceland next week, and then boom, then I start at the radio station, which I'm obviously very excited about. Education was great. It was a fun adventure. I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I did it for 9 years. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. And I think that when you are in different careers, you do get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not finding the joy in this anymore. It's time to take a step back, take a break, try something new. But obviously I love Spotlight, I love microphone, and I love Tiny. So it's all going to work out. It's all going to be great. I know the station. I love the station. I love the listeners. It's just kind of like, as the owner said, it's kind of like coming back home.
It is a homecoming for sure.
Yeah.
It's been very difficult to not
say anything.
Yeah, unveil this, but we've all been very excited and trying to make these moves. And it's exciting for me because I get Katy back, which I always thought that I would. And secondly is I'm really trying to make it on my end so that she can just show up and boom, ready to go. There's so much more now than when Katy left, as from a technical standpoint and behind the scenes, getting signed up for this and logged in for this and all these different things. And knowing how Katy gets with this stuff, as you've heard for the last 8 minutes.
I'm so overwhelmed already.
I know that it is all going to just culminate in this eruption if I don't have these things lined up for her when she shows up. So I'm trying to, gird my loins, so to speak, because she's going to come in here like a ball of fire and be like, where's this? I need this. Where's my desk? Oh, you don't have a seat for me. Oh, you son of a...
So knowing that about me and saying what you just said, so then you understand the message about the gym. I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row. You know how important it is for me to work out. You know how much I love my gym. I'm leaving Shenandoah Fit at the end of June. It's a huge... it's a huge emotional toll on me. I know a gym is just a gym and there's a million of them out there, but I love my gym. It's been a huge part of my life for almost 5 years. I just love it there. And so leaving there is really, really hard. And
I do. I ultimately understand.
Thank you. So I wanted to quickly, get into a gym so I don't have this lull between gyms, because working out is very important to me. And so I was trying to say, like, hey, I don't know, just something like, yeah, I understand, Katy, maybe we can, when are you done at your gym? When could, something, not just complete ghost town is not what I was looking for.
So yes, I fully understand what you expected there.
Oh, do you? Because
yeah, I do. Now,
okay.
Here's the thing. Now, hang on. In my defense in all of this is I had probably one of the busiest weekends, which is a good thing. So I was doing a lot with the family, went for a 10-mile bike ride. One of my favorite things to do that I didn't think I was going to get to do was plant a garden with Reagan. She loves going out and checking on the garden and the vegetables and all. So when you sent that yesterday, I was elbow deep in dirt. My phone was away from me because I'm finding, and I like this, that my phone is not always attached to me. And I like it when I can put it elsewhere. So when I finally saw these messages, which was, hours after you sent them yesterday, I had this conversation with another friend of mine. Do you ever, Katy is probably not the person to say this, but, and by the way, so to put a little bow on that. So I know exactly what you wanted me to say, but I love pulling these things out of you because it entertains me.
I know. I'm telling you, there are maybe 3 people that I've met in my life that can piss me off to max capacity. And you are like number 1.
Yeah.
You make me so mad. And I'm trying to, as I get older, I'm almost 40, like take a chill pill, relax a little bit, whatever, it's fine. But I just can't with you. I mean, I get really, really angry, really mad at you.
Because Katy thinks that I should be able to read her mind.
And you
about everything.
can, but you
can. I can.
That's
I know I can.
So.
But however, I don't like that that's put on me. So I'm like, now wait a minute here. Hang on. You should be able to do X, Y, and Z. Don't just think that, well, Tiny, you know exactly what I'm thinking, so therefore you should just do it. It should just be this expected thing that you should do.
It would just make life easier on both accounts if you could just do that for me, please.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So anyway, go on. You were saying something, putting a bow on this, and then you were going into something else. Have you ever, Katy, person ask?
So talking to a friend of mine, and we both are the same way. Do you mentally respond to a text, obviously, and then you don't respond to it? So you don't actually respond to it. So you'll look at a text, and it'll just show up as a notification. You don't click on anything. You just, okay, text me, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's so nice. And you put the phone down, you think that you're going to respond, then you just don't. Not that you're justifying. I would never bring up and say, well, I responded in my head. I understand.
Actually did respond, Katy, in my head.
Yeah. And if I can read your mind, why can't you read mine?
That's right. Didn't you get it?
Oh my God. I used to say to Katy, this used to be what I would say. There were times. Yeah, there's that. So if you were to open up, if you were able to see inside Katy's mind, you would hear dun 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 dun. The entertainer would play like crazy. But there were times where no matter how I would respond to Katy, whether it would be text or in person, didn't matter, email, that it was never good enough. There was something wrong with it. So finally, I got to a point, and I would say, when she would say something to me, it's Katy, time out.
How do you want me to respond?
Well, how do you want me to respond to this?
Yes.
What response would you be happy with here? Because that's what I want to respond with. You should just know.
I think any response at this point, if I send you a text, maybe just anything. You can even love the text. You can even, now you don't even have to respond.
How do I do that?
You can. So, okay, you have I'm assuming it's the same way as an iPhone. So let's see. The last thing you text me said Gmail. Stupid.
Right.
So I am actually going to dislike your text because it's stupid. So when you now have a notification that Katy Dickinson disliked your text.
Right.
Okay.
But see, I think that's got to be an iPhone thing because I can't do that.
So I've just texted you and I said, hey, I want you to take your thumb and hold down where I wrote, hey, hold down on the text message for about 5 seconds.
Yep. Nothing.
No, you have
to. Here's what I have. I'll show you right here.
Let me see what you're doing. I can't really see.
You can't make that out?
If you take your thumb on the text and
just
hold it.
So I do. I know what you're saying. But when I do that, let me tell you what pops up.
Okay.
Delete, copy, select, forward share, star, add to reminder, copy to SIM card, view details, report as spam. Oh, report as spam.
Is there anything that I know you can, because my friend Ashley is an Android and she loves my texts all the time, obviously.
Can
'cause
you
I send
ask
amazing
her?
text messages. Sure,
Can you
I'll do
ask
it
her
right now.
what she does? Because I would like to be able to do this, and it ticks me off when people do it to me, and I see that, oh, Katie loved this, and there's like a heart emoji or what, and I get nothing. I can
Okay.
do nothing.
Let me also tell you that I do not do that. I think that is the biggest cop out to not responding to somebody's text messages.
Hey, but for me, it's a step up.
No, it's not. It's not a step up for anybody. I understand that this is the way that the world is going, and we're also lazy that we can't even respond, so we just like and love and whatever, laugh at somebody's text message. I think it is the worst way to not respond to whatever I'm saying. And so I will never, I very, very, very rarely like, love, dislike a text, because to me it's just like, whatever. I'm just going to dislike this or like this or whatever. I just love what you said, so I'm going to heart it, to just like kind of wrap it up, and that's fine. But if somebody says something that's really funny to me, I'm not going to laugh at the text. I'm going to say, that was very funny. I did laugh out loud. Or I'm
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're not going to say,
yes, I am.
You would never text me and say that was very funny. Now you could make the argument that I'm not very funny, but the point is you would never.
That's because you don't say anything really funny. So if you did, we'd be in a whole new ball game here.
Shut up.
I'm trying, but listen, when I try to spend a little bit of time at the end of every day, and I call it catching up on my correspondence. And so when I catch up on said correspondence, I go through my text messages and I see, did I not respond to somebody? Because I also have a tendency of I'll write back the response, but I forget to hit send.
Yes. That's what happened with me yesterday with you.
Yeah, whatever. Don't even try.
Because it's right here. I'll send it right now.
Look at us both literally podcasting right now and texting on our phones.
I had to do it right away.
I'm not going to repeat that text that you just sent because it's inappropriate, and I don't say inappropriate words. All right, hang on. So I'm podcasting. Okay. Tiny as an Android is wondering how to like and love texts from a phone other than an iPhone. Okay, so we'll find out what's going on with that.
I would love that. Then,
I actually don't want to give you this knowledge, because now you're going to like all my texts to just make me mad.
I could just Google it though, realistically.
I mean, you could, or we could just text during our podcast today. Yeah,
we could. We totally could.
Okay, so let me catch you up to speed here on things. I'm going to You're not going to believe this. This is typical Katy. Okay, Tiny, I'm going to Iceland on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Why am I going to Iceland?
Swim with the belugas.
Okay. Because they have a beluga whale sanctuary. It's like the only
They have a sanctuary where all these belugas gather and they praise the Lord.
Yeah, okay.
In the sanctuary.
Right. So the whole purpose of this trip is to go to the sanctuary, because I've been wanting to go since I was a kid. To get to the sanctuary.
It's closed.
No. I mean, you're on the right track, but no. We're flying into Reykjavik, and then it's a 3-hour drive to the ferry. Then you have to put your car on the ferry, and it's about an hour ferry ride to the island. And then I think it's about a half an hour to the sanctuary. So it's not an easy, you fly into Reykjavik, you take an Uber and you're at the sanctuary. I mean, it's a full day of transportation to get there. Now at the sanctuary, it's no, I guess it's not fairly new. They have 2 beluga whales. Their names are Little Gray and Little White. Not very creative, but yes, Little Gray and Little White. But they're so damn cute. I mean, they are so cute. And there's also a puffin colony. So when you're out on the boat, you see the belugas, and then you go see the puffin colony and whatever. So this is literally why we're doing this. Okay. I get an email. Let me find this email so I can read it to you verbatim. Now, this is happening in the midst of finding out I got an apartment. I have like 4 days to pack my house, and I got to do this and I got to do that.
Got to find a gym. Tiny's not responding.
I know. Tiny's not responding. All these things are just stacking up, and I can't handle it. All right, Tiny, talk about something real quick while I figure out where this is. Tell a funny story if you can. Okay. Here we go. Dear guest, you are currently booked for the Beluga Whale Sanctuary boat trip combo. Your ticket includes both admission to the visitor center and a 1-hour round-trip boat trip. The belugas are currently inside due to a minor medical concern with little Gray, so she can get all the help that she needs from our team and vets for a successful and fast recovery. The boat trip is still on schedule. If you choose to keep your boat trip, you will be able to see the puffin colonies surrounding the islands and the outdoor sanctuary, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if I also read, where's the other part? It's not just little Gray, it's little Gray and little White. So the belugas aren't even out. They're in a medical facility. So when we go, we're not even going to see the belugas.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, are you kidding me? I have been wanting to do this trip since I was a child.
Is there a possibility that you can see him?
I didn't respond back and say like, how injured are we talking? Like a small.
Don't try to pass this puffin colony along as if it's I got something
like,
you can puff on.
Puffins, not trying to sound like a snob, but been there, done that.
Yeah.
I saw them in Alaska. I saw them in South Africa. Like I've seen them. They're fine, but I'm not going to see puffins. I'm going to see the damn belugas. So I text my girlfriends, Nina and Kelly, who are going with me, and I was like, you guys aren't even going to believe this. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to screenshot the email because you won't believe it. And they were like, you're right. I don't believe this. This has been something you've been talking about forever. And of course. So not trying to be a Debbie Downer where I'm like, you know what, we can still go. Maybe there's a miraculous recovery and little Gray and little White are out swimming around. In the meantime, we got shirts made so that we stand out a little more of all the people that are going to be on the boat. And we have these shirts made and they say, get well soon, little Gray.
I love it. I mean, it's great. It's you. It's totally you.
Yeah, but if you were working at the Beluga Whale Sanctuary and these 3 girls roll up in shirts, supporting the whale, wouldn't you maybe say, come on in, ladies. Let's let you have a little look.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would think, but you don't know that until you get there. That's why I said, why haven't you done something ahead of time?
I'm not, because you know what? If the belugas are sick, I want them to get the care that they need. I'm just being selfish. I'll find another time in my life to interact with belugas again.
Well, but here's my question: is they say that you quoted they're quote unquote inside. Well,
yes.
Why can't you be inside?
I don't think it's open for everybody to come. It's a medical facility, so I'm assuming the only people that are going in are like interns or people that are in the medical field, not just Katy. I mean, from the Tiny and Katy show, and coming to you soon on WAYZ.
Right? Yeah.
I'll definitely pull that card if it's going to get me some pull, but I don't know if it is.
Wow, that sucks. If you get over there and don't get it, I mean, that's just talk about a downer. That was the pinnacle of the trip. I mean, how far into your trip are you doing that?
We arrive on Sunday. We're going to the sanctuary on Tuesday. So we have a lot of other things. I mean, this is a jam-packed trip. We're going to the Blue Lagoon on Sunday. We're driving what's called the Golden Circle. I encourage you to Google it because it's insanely beautiful. There's all these stops. It's about 3 hours and just you're looking at geysers and craters, and it's so incredible. And then the next day we're doing the scuba trip where you can touch the 2 tectonic plates that belong to 2 separate continents. So you're touching technically like 2 different continents.
Mm-hmm.
The next day we're doing the Beluga Whale Sanctuary, and then we're going to the Black Beach, which is not too far from the sanctuary, so we will get to still do that. And then the next day, my friend Kelly and I are having a day where we're doing like a hike and a waterfall, and so there's a lot of other things that we're doing. It's going to be beautiful and it's going to be amazing.
Is there a possibility that you can see the beluga whales in the wild?
No. Probably not. So I'll just have to make a new bucket list item where I can actually maybe go kayaking and there's belugas around. I mean, I'll find something.
I feel like we have to have like a movement or something in the next week, like hashtag free the belugas.
Well, we don't want to free them. If they're sick, we want them to get the medical. I think it's more like hashtag bring Katy into the medical facility so she can interact with the belugas.
Hashtag Katie's Anatomy or Dr. Katy to the rescue or something like that.
Correct. Yeah, I think-
Realistically, though, knowing you and how you are and how you would get to it probably would be emotional overload on them. I mean, they're probably hooked up to IVs and you walk in and it's like, y'all, I'm sick here. Can we do something about her?
I know for a fact that if I saw the belugas or if I see the belugas, I'm going to be a train wreck. There's going to be a large amount of emotion. And maybe that is stressful for the belugas to see some blonde chick hyperventilating in the corner just by looking at them. I mean, I don't think that's good for anybody's psyche at all to see. And
they probably look at each other and be like, "Hey, Gray, do you think she's doing that on purpose?"
Hey, Gray.
I don't know, White. I don't know. But she looks nuts.
She is not in a good headspace at all. So I'm still going. It's still going to be a wonderful time, but whether we interact or not will be, we'll see how it goes. But the next time, Tiny, that you and I will be podcasting, it will be from the WAYZ studios.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
So this is the last podcast where we are not, quote unquote, together.
This is the last podcast where this is barely like,
Can we just pull that thing down? Let's just see behind Oz's curtain. This thing is ridiculous.
I'm trying to pack my house right now, so I don't want everybody to see it at the moment. But
anyway,
it's very difficult to get this thing upright and not looking atrocious because there's always like one piece hanging down in the corner, another piece that falls down. And then I'm never centered, and Tiny's always getting mad because I'm never centered. I'm always
it's a nightmare.
Because if I center myself, then this thing falls, and so there's a big process involved. So next time it will be more professional and sophisticated looking.
Awesome. Well, have a great time in Iceland. Hopefully, pray to the beluga gods in their sanctuary that Katy gets to see them, because that would just be wonderful. And she's going to come back all ticked off because she's going to hear from somebody that's on the boat ride with her that they let them go in.
No. That's not going to happen.
I would totally do that. Oh, I would 100% do that.
Yeah,
if I were going with Katy right now, I would play like hell to try to make sure.
Oh, of course you would.
That I got in to do this. And then I would now, obviously I would work to make sure she got it too, but I would make her think, yes, I would, that I was getting in to see these things and that she wasn't. Oh my Lord. Those things entertain the pee out of me.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. I know how much you love to make me irate. I mean, you do a really good job of it.
I'm pretty good at it.
Big thanks to Roots Hair Design and Marion. I'm very excited that the next time I go and get my hair done, it's not going to be over an hour drive. It's going to be a nice little easy breezy 10-minute commute up there to see my girl Katy.
And I'm sure they're going to love the fact that you're so close.
They're going to love it because they know that I'm coming in the month of July to get my hair extensions. Now, I still have to get those 20 pounds off. I don't know how that's going to work.
What miracle worker do you know for that?
By the way, it's gone from 10 to 20 because, stress overload.
Yeah.
So that's about where we are. But yeah, so next time we talk to you, I will have report from Iceland and it will be at the WAYZ studio.
And you probably will have already heard her on the air. So there's that too.
Yes. Very exciting.
Have a great one. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.
It's the Tiny and Katy Show.